Hello students, I am Dinesh Urpi and we'll continue with our study of molecular biology, evolution and ethology paper. This is session number 4 and in this video we are going to study or we are going to familiarize ourselves to the concept of genetic engineering, its history and the restriction endonuclease and ligases enzymes. Now what is genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is the process of using recombinant DNA technology to alter the genetic makeup of an organism. So sometimes you can say biotechnology, genetic engineering, they all mean same. So here it refers to the use of the recombinant DNA technology to change the genetic makeup of an organism and the aim of this particular technique is to produce an organism so that we get desired characters or desired products from that altered animal or plant or any other organism. Traditionally, humans have manipulated genomes indirectly by controlling breeding and selecting offspring with desired traits. Now, knowingly or unknowingly, we are doing this from thousands of years. Humans are doing this particular thing. So what we have done, say for example, uh, say the crop plants, you take the example of crop plants. Now, the farmers have selected the plants with desired characters. Now, the desired character may be the quantity of the product or the quality of the product, color of the product, size of the fruit, like this. Now, this is called the selection, right? So the selection process, of course, it occurs in the nature also, but humans have done this in their agricultural practice. And even we have done this selection in some animals like dogs, horses, cattle. I mean the animals which are beneficial to the human being. So that selection procedure has been done. Now what we have done is we have given more chance of survival and multiplication to the varieties which are beneficial to us. Now genetic engineer goes one step ahead. Instead of waiting for the nature to do the things, we are going to insert the desired gene in the organism of our interest. So it is the direct manipulation of one or more genes, right? So a gene from another organism or I mean another animal or another individual, or sometimes a gene from another species is inserted into the genome of another organism to get the desired characters, desired product or desired phenotype or whatever it is. So history of genetic engineering. Of course, there are many things, but here I am just mentioning some milestone developments in the field of genetic engineering. So in 1953, DNA molecule, the structure of DNA molecule was discovered by Watson and Crick, which is an important milestone in the field of genetics in general, and you can say that led later to the field of genetic engineering or biotechnology. In 1962, green fluorescent protein was developed, and this particular protein and this particular technique helped to understand the genetic material, the behavior of genetic material, how the DNA molecule expresses, and all those things. In 1967, DNA ligase enzyme was discovered, and it led to the creation of recombinant DNA technology. In 1968, restriction enzymes were discovered, and restriction enzymes also play a very important role in DNA recombinant technology. So 1968, the restriction enzymes were discovered, and in 1971, type 2 restriction enzymes were used for mapping DNA. So mapping means understanding the location of genes on the chromosomes, right? And understanding the location of genes on the DNA. So like this, restriction enzymes helped the scientists to understand the exact locations of the genes on a particular DNA. Now in 1972, recombinant DNA is created. In 1975, hybridoma technology is developed and it revolutionized the diagnostics. In immunology, we are going to study this hybridoma technology by which they were able to produce monoclonal antibodies. In 1981, the first transgenic animal was produced, the mice. In 1982, first genetically engineered human drug, synthetic insulin, was produced. Now remember, insulin is the hormone which is administered to the diabetic patients. So insulin hormone, earlier it used to be extracted from animal sources. So the pancreas used to be collected from the slaughterhouses, and by grinding the pancreas tissue, they used to extract the hormone. Now the problem was the hormone was not pure because it is from another animal source, and it used to take a lot of time, effort, etc. So the process was very costly, and the amount of insulin obtained in such manner was very less. But with the development of biotechnology and genetic engineering, now the scientists are able to produce the human insulin in pure form by the bacteria. So they will produce it in the laboratory in vitro. So large quantities of pure insulin can be produced in the laboratory, and that led to the reduction of the cost. So like this, the technology, the genetic engineering techniques are helping the humans in different ways. In 1983, polymerase chain reaction was developed, and this PCR technique, of course, nowadays this PCR is modified further. So we have advanced PCR, so real-time PCR like this. But the polymerase chain reaction process, which uses the small device which I have shown here, it is used to multiply the DNA. If you have a single copy of DNA, using this PCR technique, you can get millions of copies from the single DNA. So that revolutionized the genetic engineering field. In 1996, I hope almost all of you are familiar with this dolly, which is nothing but a cloned animal, right? So this is the exact clone of its mother, and this is the first cloned mammal. I mean, this is the mammal which is cloned successfully by Ian Wilmot and his team. So that is one of the milestones in the genetic engineering. In 1999, the Human Genome Project. So in another topic, we are going to study about Human Genome Project, which was a very ambitious project involving many countries and hundreds of thousands of scientists, hundreds of laboratories, where they sequenced all the genes of the human DNA. So we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, I mean 23 chromosomes. So all the 23, so theoretically, I mean practically it is 24, so X and Y. If you consider Y also, so 24 chromosomes were mapped during this Human Genome Project. So the knowledge, the information which was generated during this Human Genome Project is extensively used in further uh, development of genetic engineering. With that little introduction to the biotechnology or genetic engineering, let us move on to one particular enzyme which is extensively used in genetic engineering, that is restriction endonuclease. Now, endonuclease, as the name suggests, it is the enzyme which will break the nucleic acid molecule inside endonuclease. And it is called restriction endonuclease because these enzymes are going to act only on restricted sequences. I mean, they have particular part of the DNA where only they are going to work. And they are commonly called molecular scissors because they cut the DNA molecule. We call them as molecular scissors. And as I already mentioned, they are going to cleave DNA at or near a specific recognition sequence known as restriction sites. So only in that particular point, in that particular sequence, it is going to work. Therefore, the name restriction endonuclease. These enzymes make one incision on each of the two strands of DNA and are also called restriction endonucleases. So they are going to make one cut in one part of the, in one strand, and the cut in another place in the opposite strand. Viruses infect cells and use host cell mechanism for their multiplication. We all know that viruses, they do not have their own multiplication mechanism. Normally, a virus is made up of only two things: a protein coat and a nucleic acid. The nucleic acid may be either RNA or DNA. Now, when the virus infects a cell, it is going to use the host cell's replication mechanism for multiplication. So it is going to multiply itself using the host cell's resources. So that is the biggest problem with the virus. And in this process, it is going to destroy the host cell. Now, to protect from the virus DNA, bacteria have evolved one particular mechanism. You remember, viruses infect bacteria also. We call them as bacteriophages, right? So even bacteria are going to be infected with viruses, and to protect against this particular behavior of the viruses, the bacteria have evolved one mechanism where they produce restriction enzymes which will specifically cleave virus DNA. Now this is the beauty. Bacteria produce restriction endonuclease enzymes, and these restriction endonuclease enzymes are capable of breaking the DNA molecule. But they will break only the viral DNA. They will not damage the host DNA. So even if the virus enters into the cell, the DNA is going to be broken down by these restriction endonucleases. So you can consider restriction endonuclease enzyme as a defense mechanism by the bacteria, right? So you can consider it as the immune system, the immune response of a bacteria against the infection by the virus. Now there are different types of restriction enzymes like type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, etc. This endonuclease enzyme, which is produced in the bacteria as a defense mechanism against the virus, is identified, it is discovered by the scientists, and they soon realized its value as a tool in biotechnology. Now in biotechnology or in genetic engineering, what we want to do is we want to break the DNA molecule of the host cell, and then we want to insert a foreign DNA, right? Now to break the DNA molecule at a particular point, we need these restriction enzymes. So therefore, the discovery of restriction enzyme is one of the milestone in the field of genetic engineering. So restriction enzymes play a very important role in producing the modification or modified DNA. Now let us move on to another enzyme which is extensively used in genetic engineering. It is called ligase enzyme. So endonuclease breaks the DNA, whereas ligase enzyme has opposite function. It is going to bind the broken parts of the DNA. Now ligases are a group of enzymes that catalyze the binding of two molecules. An example is DNA ligase that link two fragments of DNA by forming phosphodiester bonds between two nucleotides. Ligase enzyme plays a role in joining Okazaki fragments during DNA replication. If you remember what we studied in the first session, during the DNA fragmentation, DNA replication process, Okazaki fragments are formed on the lagging strand. So those Okazaki fragments are joined together with the help of this ligase enzyme. Now DNA ligase used in both DNA repair and DNA replication. Naturally, the cells use this DNA ligase enzyme for DNA repairing and DNA replication process. In addition, DNA ligase has extensive use in molecular biology laboratories for recombinant DNA experiment. As I already told you, in genetic engineering, what we want to do is we want to break the DNA molecule and then we want to join the DNA molecule. So we will break the DNA molecule, we will insert the foreign DNA, foreign gene in that host DNA, and then we need to bind it again. So to break, we use restriction endonuclease, and after inserting the foreign gene or foreign DNA, we want to bind it again. So that binding is done by ligase enzyme. So therefore, in this session, we have studied two important enzymes. They are endonuclease and ligase enzyme, which are very important tools in the genetic engineering. So in this session, we studied the genetic engineering and some important milestones in the history of genetic engineering, and two important enzymes which are extensively used in genetic engineering. They are endonuclease and ligase enzyme. That's all for this session. Thank you.